What one person can achieve, another can as well. José Raúl Capablanca, the world chess champion, once said, "He who wants to improve and achieve his goal must look at his losses as lessons." This statement could have been an epigraph to the following short stories. The Wright brothers, the first aviators in the world, were involved in designing bicycles. But they had a dream, to create a heavier-than-air flying machine. Their first attempts were so unsuccessful that the brothers had no more spots left without bruises and scrapes. But that was not the worst part. Neighbors who watched their experiments spread rumors throughout the city that the brothers had gone crazy with their foolish idea. Crowds of onlookers and idlers began to gather around their house to watch the crazies. And when one of the brothers sat in the machine, during a test, the onlookers let out wild whistles and howls. And when the machine, after skidding a few meters along the ground like a wind-up toy frog, tipped over and the pilot rolled out like a ball, the spectators fell to the ground in laughter and kicked their legs as if having convulsions. The police were already considering whether it was time to take this strange couple to a psychiatric hospital. But soon a circus came to town, and gradually people forgot about the Wright brothers. Yet, by trial and error, the Wright brothers overcame all their failures and took to the air. Interestingly, when they announced that they had created a machine that could fly and invited local reporters to come and see it with their own eyes, no one showed up. Reporters, and everyone else, were convinced that the brothers had finally lost their minds. And now let's move from America to England and get acquainted with another equally impressive story. Scottish historian Thomas Carlyle took on the titanic task of writing a detailed history of the French Revolution. After spending a year and 9 months at his desk and completing the first volume, he decided to show the manuscript to one of his friends whose opinion he particularly valued. Due to the carelessness of this friend, or by accident, the manuscript ended up on the floor of his office, and he forgot about it. Weeks passed, then months, and still no word from his friend. Finally, wanting to know his friend's opinion and move forward with publishing his work, Carlyle sent for the manuscript. They searched for it, the manuscript was gone. After a thorough investigation, it was discovered that the servant had swept it up along with some other unnecessary papers that the homeowner had a habit of throwing on the floor and using as kindling for the fireplace. When this news was reported to Carlyle, he, a sensitive and emotional man, was almost speechless. Almost 2 years of intense work, poring over documents, sleepless nights, all sacrifices were in vain. In addition, Carlyle had not saved any drafts. It is not difficult to imagine the feelings of the historian. But what happened next? What happened next was something that no one could have expected. Carlyle began writing the lost volume again, trying to reconstruct all the facts, dates, and thoughts from memory. And if the first time writing the book was a pleasure for him, the second time was all torture and suffering. But every morning, like a prisoner, Carlyle sat down at his desk and worked for 14 to 16 hours a day. 6 months later, the book was reconstructed. Carlyle's remarkable perseverance was rewarded. The new edition of the first volume, according to the author, turned out significantly better than the previous one. Moreover, the story of the lost manuscript and Carlyle's decision to restore it became a public sensation. And when the book finally appeared on sale, it enjoyed tremendous success among buyers. That's how, thanks to his perseverance, Thomas Carlyle became not only a famous historian but also one of the most respected people of his time. The philosopher Carl Jung once said, "What one man can do, another can do." One day, he was riding on a horse for the first time in the company of his athlete friend. The athlete wanted to show off his horse's impressive skills, so he galloped towards the nearest fence and effortlessly took the barrier. Approaching Jung, the athlete said, "In your writings, you seem to assert that what one person is capable of, any other person can do." Jung calmly, without suspicion, answered, "Yes." The athlete then smiled and said, "Then perhaps you can repeat this trick." Jung raised his head and confidently replied, "Of course." Before the athlete had a chance to laugh, Jung directed the horse towards a fence. As expected, during the jump, Jung fell off the horse. He could have fallen on the sharp stakes, but this danger seemed not to worry him. However, the athlete was scared and shouted at his friend, "Are you crazy? I was only joking." But Jung seemed to be deaf to his friend's words. Without saying a word, he got back on the horse and made another attempt to jump over the high fence. And once again, he fell. The third attempt could be called almost successful. He didn't jump over the fence, but he didn't fall off the horse either, as he held on to the horse's mane tightly. Only on the fifth attempt did Jung successfully overcome the obstacle. Thanks for watching. Like this video and subscribe to the channel.